Okay, what we're going to go over this time is emergency air supply. And again, I'm going to ask that you refer back to the segment on RIT positions and assignments. This assignment is performed by the navigation air supply person after they've found the victim. So stepping back a little bit and talking about emergency air supply, we need to supply a secure air supply to this downed firefighter. We need to get him more air. Sometimes he may be running out, or he may have some in there, but you want to address the air supply function as soon as you can. There's a couple different options with the air supply. First and foremost, get yourself a pack to carry your emergency air supply in so that it's set up the way you're going to perform when you get to this downed firefighter. There's three options we look at when we talk about emergency air supply. And to do that, we'll look at the pack we have. We've got this pack set up. If we were to open the pack up and take a quick look at the inside, everything we need is right here. That's why we've set this bag up to function the way we would perform in a worst-case situation. One of the first options available to the firefighter on the inside comes from this universal air connection, which is a high-pressure transfill device that is attached to your RIT pack. In all of the newer packs out there, if we take a quick look at it, they've got a universal air connection on there. Now, some of the older packs don't, but in all of the conversions and all the new packs have this. An option to get this guy air is simply to take the universal connection, plug it into his universal air connection on his air pack, and this will transfill. So let's say this has 0 and this has 4,500 pounds. We're going to equalize at 2,250, somewhere around there. We're going to equalize pressures. The nice thing about this is that there's no compromise to the environment. You simply give him a fresh source of air. One of the downsides to this is that when we talk about drags, you'll see that we could rip this off, and it happens fairly easy. So if you use this option, you've got to let it transfill and then remove it. Otherwise, what will happen is that you will rip this off and you'll have bigger problems on your hands. So remember, the pros are no compromise of his air supply, but the cons, you may not be able to get to it if he was trapped on his back, or you may rip it off if you forget to take it out. That's one option. A second option that exists is the low pressure option. And in this RIT pack, we carry it with a low pressure regulator attached and ready to be used. The firefighter who has this mask set up can easily be converted by swapping the regulator out. The benefit to this is there's much more flexibility, and also it's probably the most common gloved hand action that you perform as an individual, so you'd be pretty proficient at making this switch. The downside to this one is that you're compromising his air supply. So you have to take the pros and the cons and plug them into the environment that you have, because this may be the only option that you can use. So that's option number 2 in terms of emergency air supply. And the third option that exists, which would be a definite worst case option, would be that either this guy was in a pack unlike yours with no universal connection, or he had his face mask compromised or ripped off completely. And in that event, what you would do is you'd come to your RIT pack, which is carrying a spare face mask, and then make that setup, and then actually convert this face mask of the downed firefighter. The most difficult air supply that there is, but it's something that may have to happen. And even if it's not happening with the RIT pack, you may be dragging this guy out and somehow rip his mask off, so you'll have to be proficient at getting a mask back on the downed firefighter. So that's 3 options that exist. A couple more things about the RIT pack we want to talk about is when do you turn it on and what do you do after you've secured the air supply. So you turn the pack on the outside simply to check and make sure everything's in place. And then you turn it off. And you only turn it on when you get to the victim, because if you don't, what would happen is that if the bypass was open slightly or the dawning switch happened to be activated, you would lose all your air and probably never know that by the time you got to the victim. So turn it on outside, check it, and then actively turn it off so that you know you're ready to go. And the last thing is, once the air supply has been converted to this victim, the firefighter, we have a carabiner attached to the bag in a drag strap that we would simply attach to the converted waist strap of the victim, and then it becomes a hands-free operation. You drag the victim with his SCBA strap, and this bag will simply drag out with him. So what we'll do in the next sequence here is we'll show you the actual connection to the downed firefighter based on whatever air supply option you chose. You would simply connect this as a last step, and then he would be ready to be removed. Okay, the last step in the emergency air supply, like we talked about, is actually securing the bag to the downed firefighter. Remember, you'd have used either the high pressure wand, the regulator, or the face mask to convert his air. Now what you want to do is just take the bag, get the carabiner attached to his crotch strap, and now, no matter which drag technique you use, this is actually hands-free. You can remove the firefighter and the bag is going to simply drag right straight away with him. That's the technique that allows you to focus on removal and not carrying your gear with you.